Good morning. Welcome to Somatic Self-Care. I'm Tony Hench, and what we do here is we use a variety of somatic tools and exercises. And real quick, if you're unfamiliar with what somatic exercises are, they're basically using your body physiology to strengthen the brain-body-mind connection, and specifically the mind-body connection where you are aware of what's going on inside your body physiologically. And that means like functioning wise. So a lot of times, let's go through our day, through our life, actually most of the time, we are ignoring a lot of what's happening inside of our body simply because we don't have the bandwidth in our brain to be able to process that information and then still live and function in daily life. So we take a minute, we kind of see what's going on. You can get a lot of information and a lot of relief, actually, and emotional regulation and ability to show up and feel good and present and positive in your day because you've dealt with the physiology that's going on after the stressful regular things in life and just kind of recalibrated all the chemicals and hormones that are in your body because we're subconsciously sending all these signals to our body. So a somatic exercise is basically a mind-body exercise. So we use three main ones I use here. Intuitive movement, and this one we start off with to create safety in your body. Then we go into breath work, and this is really huge biochemically. You're just using the oxygen to send the signal to your body to basically clean and recalibrate all of the chemical reactions that are happening in your body. Like trillions of these are happening every second. You have trillion cells and multiple chemical reactions are happening every second in those cells. Simply by breathing. And then at the end, we use EFT tapping, also known as emotional freedom technique. And this helps us regulate emotions and then tap into an intention in a positive way. And we basically set that memory or that experience into our nervous system. So the way your brain and your body work is that you experience something and that causes all these specific chemical reactions and they kind of imprint a memory into your nervous system. And that is going to become easier to become like the default reaction when you have an experience with that. So we're just kind of using that emotional freedom technique, breath work, intuitive movement, have packs and tons of scientific studies on them. And I can tell for myself and for my clients that there are some of the quickest, fastest results, like immediate, like breath work changes your body immediately, all of that. So let's get into it. We're going to start off with some seated exercises. And what these are doing is these are just allowing us to drop into our body and actually be present and feel in the moment. So we're going to start with a simple breathing technique with our eyes. So you're going to go ahead and take a look up to the left and take a breath in. When we breathe here, generally what we're going to be doing is in through the nose and out through the mouth. If that's comfortable for you. If not, you can breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, or in through the mouth and out through the mouth. We'll go into that later. We're just going to breathe in, pause, look up, and out. To the right, in, pause, out, and then we're going to do it center. We're going to look up, in, and out. And what that is simply done in our brain is it's actually that simple exercise right there can change the frequency of the waves of energy through your brain, going from beta, which is what we're normally in as we're awake and talking, into alpha, which is a more relaxed, slower frequency, which allows us to focus and feel more. So we're going to simply take those same deep breaths and we're going to do a simple exercise. I'm going to turn a little bit to the side here so that you can see where I'm going to go backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. And this is simply breathing in and out. And this is going to simply relax We call it the pelvic girdle in anatomy. It's an anatomy teacher. There's a bunch of nerves and muscles that go through your perfect pelvic girdle, and the pelvic girdle is basically like your hips and all the things that hold your lower body together. Just breathe in as you come up and out. It's just simply relaxing those. It's a very slow, fluid movement. Okay, and now we're going to go circular to the right, warming up the body, loosening up those. You can kind of think of this as like a stretch before you would go on a jog or you'd lift the gym or do any other physical exercise. These rhythmic movements, slow. You want it to be very slow and smooth and gentle. If it hurts or if anything feels too sore, don't push. Just go until it, like, this should feel very good and relaxing. You're not trying to like stretch or push your body here. Your body is the boss in all of this situation. You need to listen and give that. This exercise is for your own well-being. So you listen to your body here. Okay. And now we are going to lay down and do two-seated movement. So we moved our body in specific planes. We moved it front to back and then we moved it around. We're going to do the same thing here. We're going to use our feet. I'll scoot back a little bit to show you, but I think I'm too tall for the frame of the camera, which is weird. I'm never too tall for anything. And you're going to just like gas pedal both feet to create a slow rocking motion. And then we're going to move our feet like this, side to side, to create the same rocking motion. And these rocking motions, lay back here, and see if I can scoot just a little bit more. Here we go. These rocking motions allow our body to feel a sense of safety and presence. That's why rocking chairs are so relaxing, or you rock a baby. This was the first movement when you were in utero. As a fetus, your nervous system was programmed to the rocking as your mom moved throughout her day and you were inside the amniotic fluid. So that gentle rocking motion is the earliest and most primal motion. And so it has a huge effect on our nervous system. I'm going to take 3 deep breaths here, just go for about 20 more seconds. Throughout all these exercises, you want to keep bringing your awareness back to your breath in that slow, deep movement. Okay, now we're going to go side to side. Just going to move the feet side to side this way. Again, slow and gentle. You want to go as far as feels good. I can go a little bit more left than right. And that's probably the same for you. We all have different walking patterns, old injuries, different ways we stand. You just want to kind of take note of that. It's really cool that as you start to build a better relationship with your body, somatics is, that's the point of somatics, is you build a better relationship with your body and mind. You're just more aware and mindful of how you are and what's going on in your body, and it can cause, this awareness is very powerful because it can cause you just have more ability to know what's going on. Take 3 more deep breaths here. It's about 15, 20 seconds. Another. And one more. Okay, and then I'm going to slowly come up here. Your hands remain seated, or sorry, you can remain laying down. Should have said that. And I'm just going to get a little bit closer to the microphone and let you know how the breath work is going to go here. You should already, just from those movements, feel a sense of like relief and release in your body. And that's just going to warm you up. Now, I'm going to give a quick disclaimer here that if you are pregnant or have heart condition or are unfamiliar with breath work, this may not be the best exercise for you. Tony Hench and Tony Hench LLC take no culpability whatsoever. You are doing this on your own and of your own safety. Breath work is extremely natural, it's extremely gentle, and there's amazing positive benefits for it. But you are actively in real time. Oxygen, medically, scientifically, is classified as a drug. And it is, because it changes your chemistry so quickly. Now, what we're going to be doing here is a very slow breathing technique, also known as the psychological sigh. This has been shown that even 5 minutes of this has a huge, profound effect on your nervous system. What you're going to be doing is you're going to take a deep breath in through your nose, and then just a little bit more. And then you're going to gently sigh it out, release from your mouth. Now, you're probably going to start with a lot of tightness in your chest here, and in your shoulders, and in wherever else you hold your stress. You're not looking to force any of that. Like, you don't need to like move your shoulders way back or sit up really straight. You're simply going to go into this in a way that feels comfortable. And you're going to watch that just from breathing, your posture is going to change, just because those muscles are going to relax, release tension, and lift it back up. So as you're laying back there, or I'm going to lay down and demonstrate, but you're going to find a position that feels comfortable for both your hips and your shoulders. So we talked about the pectoral girdle. This is your pelvic girdle. And these positions just change just like an inch, send these amazing signals to your brain about how safe you are and how comfortable you're feeling. So you'll feel this, like if you're uncomfortable in a situation, like the automatic, like human physiological response is to curve your shoulders. If you're like not feeling comfortable, you're trying to get away from a situation, you're going to move your hips. You're going to tighten a muscle in your butt called the psoas, and you're going to move your hips and just slightly put one foot back as though you're going to start to run. So having that same positioning in your shoulders or your hips while you're doing this exercise is sending that same signal to your brain that I'm uncomfortable, and it's putting your nervous system into that fight, flight, freeze, or fawn stress response. So what we're going to do is we're just going to lay back, and you're just going to take a minute to like just breathe and like find what feels good. Where does it feel good to keep your hands, and where does it feel good in your hips? I know that sounds like crazy, but simply just like moving a couple inches, or like letting a muscle release. I'm gonna get a little water here. All right. If you don't have any water, you want to grab some. This breath work will definitely change that. So we're going to do about 15 minutes here of breath work. And that deep sigh in, remember, double in through the nose just a little bit, and then a little bit more, and then that's double out, or sorry, that slow sigh out. So we're going to take just a minute to lay back. You're going to move your shoulders. Just find a comfortable place. I generally like to keep my hands on my abdomen, or like one on my chest and one on my abdomen. Some people like them down, face palms down. This is energy. Just kind of test it out and see what works best for you. And then you're just going to want to adjust your hips. Like you're going to just like find, and sometimes you'll find like, oh, I didn't even realize that was hurting me so much. So you're just going to like adjust those. And then I'm going to sit back up so I can lead you through the breath work here. If you like to sit up, you can as well. I recommend like a crossed leg. This does a lot of good stuff for our, sorry, there's like a weird hair thing here. Cross-legged does a lot of good, sends a lot of good signals to our body and for our hips and our knees, takes the pressure off there. So if you're going to sit, you can do cross-legged, but I recommend laying down. All right, so we're going to start here now. And we're going to breathe in a little more and out. Okay, breathe in a little more and out. And you're not forcing anything. Just go till it feels like you can't, and then you're just going to take a little pause and you just do a little bit more. And this is just kind of letting your body know, like, hey, it's safe to take a deep breath. When we take a deep breath, again, breathing is the most, just like the movement was the most primal, breathing is one of the most primal responses in our brain, because you can't survive very long without oxygen. So your body and your brain respond very quickly to changes in your breathing. So breathe a little bit more in and out. And you're just going to want to keep doing this as much as you possibly, as breathing in as deeply as you possibly can without forcing it. In, again. You're going to want to start to notice any tension in your jaw and your face. And just use that breath to release that tension. And I might feel it right here. Sometimes it just feels like pressure, and sometimes it actually feels like numb. Keep breathing. If it's been tight for too long, you'll get that numb feeling. All right, and now we're going to just try and breathe a little bit deeper. We're going to breathe in as much as we can. We're going to try and pull that breath down. Just imagine that breath like pulling down into your body. Your diaphragm sits right at the bottom of your rib cage, and it's kind of like a balloon. It goes down in order to bring the air in, and it comes up to release the air. So you just imagine pulling that down. And again. And again. All right, so just kind of take a minute. You're going to still do the deep breaths, just slow and deep, and start feeling into your body. Where's the first place your attention goes? Like what's screaming for your attention? Mine is a muscle right here in my jaw that feels really, really tight. And I also have the same tight muscle back here in my neck. So wherever that attention went, now breath is kind of like clearing your brain. It's making you very present, so you're very aware. Just go ahead and breathe and just bring your awareness to that area. And just that awareness, you're going to send that oxygen to that area. Breathe in. In. Keep going, and then just keep being very present in your body. What area of your body are you very aware of right now? Take 3 more breaths. Double in and out. In, out. In, out. Okay. Feeling a lot of pressure at the top of my kidneys, the bottom of my rib cage. So where's your pressure or feeling? Sometimes you'll even start to just feel release. It's not pressure anymore. It just release without you actually even knowing. So that might actually feel really, really good. But I'll be aware that as you go through breath work, now we're going to get a little bit deeper. It is perfectly normal to cry. I just get this like the tears just releasing. It's good. Those tears generally carry a lot of like stress hormones and other toxins that you can get out of your body. It's great for your body. Your hands might get a little bit tingly, and you might have the most common is like your body temperature will change really quickly. So you'll get like really warm or really cold. Go ahead and keep breathing. Just be aware that those are completely normal and that you are still listening to your body. So you're completely in control here. You should know whether you need to stop for a minute or you can kind of push through it. It's completely up between you and your body. It's usually very instinctual. The first thing you want to do, even if it feels uncomfortable, you might be like, oh, yo, like I want to push through, kind of like when you're stretching and you're like, oh, this is going to feel good after I just kind of get through this little bit of resistance. Or you might be like, whoa, wait, I need to stop. This is part of the, go ahead and keep breathing. This is part of the beauty of somatics, is that it teaches us to trust our bodies, which we have been taught to ignore, suppress, and distrust since we were little kids and we were told, you're fine, you're okay, stop crying. And while the people who were telling us were trying to help us, we now know myriads of studies how damaging and dysregulating that is to the nervous system, to be told not to trust your own emotional sensations, your body's own signals. Again. And yes, yawning. I should have mentioned that one. That's probably the first and most common. That's called air hunger, and it's amazing. It's releasing a ton. It's a huge release of carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide isn't bad, but we're recalibrating here. So a huge release of carbon dioxide, which usually causes this huge opening up in your lungs. I totally feel it now. It just feels like I can take as deep a breath as I've wanted to since beginning of the session. What do you ought to get here? And in that same yawn, if you can, go ahead and take that same like gentle sigh out. This breathing technique has amazing, amazing effects on your body. There's so much research on it. I did a short little video. It's on my YouTube, my Instagram, or TikTok. So if you want more information about how amazing this is for your body. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do a process here that I like to. So wherever your hands are comfortable, I want you to put them on your body wherever feels comfortable. Like I said, I generally like one on my chest and one on my abdomen. Some people like to give themselves a hug and wrap their arms a little bit tighter. Some people like a loose hug. They just lay their hands. I recommend what's called bilateral stimulation, so that your hands do something a little bit differently. So mine are kind of just crossing over here, going like this. There are two different sides of the body, so it allows your brain to get bilateral stimulation. You have a little nervous plexus at the base of your skull, the occipital lobe, crosses over. So this side of the brain controls this side of the body, and this side of the brain controls this side of the body. And so that cross stimulation has an amazing calming effect on your body. So go ahead and just cross your hands. Find a comfortable position. Just go ahead and keep breathing. And now we're simply just going to speak aloud. And I know this is odd or a little bit uncomfortable. This is generally the part of the session where people are like, what are we doing here? Everything else was cool. And then we get to this point. It seems a little woo, but there's a huge amount of science to it. So I love that science and soul blend. And you're simply just going to ask your body, like, what do I need to know? Like, what am I usually like to say, like, what am I ignoring? What am I missing? So just take a few deep breaths here, and then we're just going to ask our body. And the hands have like a calming, grounding effect. So when you ask this question, it helps you to feel a little bit more secure to hear the answer. Sometimes those answers aren't comfortable. And it's between you and your screen. Nobody's going to hear this. So you're just going to go ahead and take 3 deep breaths in the same breath type, and then we're going to just speak out loud. In. One more. In. And just say, body, what do I need to know? What do I need to hear right now? And Joe, again, more. 3 breaths again. Let's go ahead and pause, and I like to say listen, because that's what you're doing, but you're actually just feeling. And a lot of us were taught to listen to our feelings. We were taught to actively ignore and suppress them. But the feelings are, or these are actually emotions at this point, because emotions are physical sensations in the body. Feelings are what you're processing through your mind. And that's why that mind-body connection is amazing. That's what we're helping to strengthen here. So the body is trying to create a sensation. Maybe, we get these all day. It's that, like, and we say it even too. I just had butterflies in my gut. I had the hair stand up on the back of my neck. And so we say those things. Well, we don't actually consciously generally understand that that's actually, like, that's an emotion. That's a physiological sensation. When you start to make sense of it and you decide in your brain, that it becomes a feeling. So you say this physiological sensation, this amount of nerves firing, this chemical reaction, which equals this feeling on my skin or feeling in my gut. That, however that feels, is this feeling. So this equals angry, this equals sad, this equals overwhelmed, this equals happy, this equals excited, this equals joy. So as you're going into your body here, you're just, I say feeling, but I'm using that in a colloquial way. It's not actually a feeling. You're just looking for, like, listening to that sensation. And you're saying, okay, like, what is that sensation trying to tell me? All right, let's go ahead and try it again here. Deep in. And one more. And another. We're just going to say it again. Body, what do I need to know? In this moment, what do I need to know? Stay present, stay breathing. Even if you don't get anything, go ahead and just keep breathing. If you're not getting anything, that's completely fine. Um, what you're doing is right now you're working with the subconscious. We think of the subconscious as part of our brain, but actually a lot of the subconscious nervous system infrastructure is in our body. And so that's 95% of your behavior, your emotions, everything that's happening in your life is 95% subconscious. Um, and so you're just going to keep breathing here. So you're just asking this question, and you will probably get a lot of ahas in the next 24 hours. I always do after a breathwork session. It doesn't always come up during the session because sometimes you're so activated. Um, like when I asked that, I got this huge like pulse of energy and tension. If you've ever felt like your leg's asleep, I get like a mild, like my leg is waking up kind of sensation in my mid back. And so that activation or that like uh, leg nervous system regulation will cause it to be really hard to be able to get that like insight and uh, know exactly what it means right off. But you'll get like those ahas throughout the day, and it just kind of comes to this like, oh, there's a quick solution to that. Oh, I wasn't paying attention to that. Oh, I need to be more aware of that. Oh, there's a boundary I should set. Oh, this isn't serving me. Um, and you may or may not actually like connect it back to this, but this is where your body was like, oh, she actually is, they're actually ready to listen. Um, so okay, so let's go ahead and finish up with the breath work here. I'm going to just do a round of 20, just 20 of those breaths in a row. We're just going to, I hate to use the term push through, but we're just going to work through, because whatever you brought up right now, your hardwiring, I can like 95% guarantee it, is trying to press it down right now. Like, I don't want to feel that. That's uncomfortable. Like, don't want to bring that. So we're just going to let the breath work move through and break up all that stress, all that awareness, all that uncomfortableness. Generally, it feels really lovely because the breath is so natural. I'm going to try again here. But if it feels a little uncomfortable at first, completely normal as well. Right, so let's go in. 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 This pace is slower or faster than you. It's perfectly fine. I'm doing breath work for over 4 years now, so my pace now is a little different than when I started. But it's been a stressful week, so I'm probably right back to like beginner level that, your stress clumps it up. So keep going. In. 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 Last 5. In. in, 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 okay, so you might yawn. You might feel a little tingling. I'm feeling it in my lips right here. Just take a minute to like come back into your body. Just sit there. Let your breathing return to normal. You can kind of move any major joint that feels a little tense or it feels released. Like I feel like my neck is like fluid now. It was like really tense when we started. Same thing with my lower back and the lumbar region. It feels like my sacrum is free now. Okay, so we just released a lot of pent-up emotions, chemical reactions, all of that in our body tissue. So we're going to go ahead and use, sorry, turn off this alarm here, the emotional freedom technique to allow our bodies to process that. This technique is certified by the American Psychological Association with their 12 steps for a evidence-based practice. They also have it used with PTSD for veterans. So there's a lot of science behind that. If you love to take a Google search, I'm going to get you the quick start method here is just, you are simply going to be using 2 to 3 fingers on whichever hand that you like. I generally tend to switch between them. Some people like to stick with one hand, some people like to stick with another. There's no really wrong way to do this. You're going to start here and you're going to tap on specific portions like 5 to 9 times. I generally just like to tap through the phrase and not even count. I'll feel it, but just tap for the length of the phrase that we're saying. And then I'll show you the different points and then we're going to tap through it. This is a very general one. And I'm just going to tap into the intention that it is safe to be into your body and to listen to your body. That's what I'm feeling that I need right now. And so I hope that's something we all always need. So we're just going to tap into that, especially now. If you're new to somatics, it can feel really activating. People like to say triggering, but I like to say activating because you're feeling all this activity in your nervous system that you generally are not aware of. It was always happening, but you were never aware of it. And so now that you feel that action and you're consciously aware of it, you're feeling into it, it can feel extremely weird. And it also feels really, really great. So there's kind of a dichotomy there. So let's go ahead and start here. We tap on the top of the head. We tap right here in the corner of the eyebrow, just right here in the middle. We tap on the side eye. We tap right underneath the eye. We tap above the lip, below the lip, and that little like indent between your lip and your chin, right there. We tap on the clavicle, the collarbone. We tap under the arm, right here. I like to use an open hand for this one instead of my fingers, just like a full open hand. And then some people use this point, some people don't, but I like to tap on my heart. Your heart is on the left side of your body, about 2 to 3 ribs down if you want to feel the ribs, or I just like to spread my fingers to show people here. Like it's usually about a spread, so it's about 3 inches below. That's where your heart is. Anatomy teacher. So I like to tap on top of the heart. There's a ton of electrical activity that's happening there. So energy flowing. People talk about energy again. We think like that science is spiritual blue. It's like, no, it's actual literal energy. It's keeping you alive. Electrical conduction of your heart. Your heart has a palpable like measurement. You can measure the energy in your heart. That's what an EKG is. So we're just going to start here. As we follow through the points, I'll just call them out. And you're just going to tap into feeling safe and present in your body, and just appreciating your body. You can use these both ways. Like you can tap through negative emotions, you can tap out into negative emotions. So, but right now we're just going to start off with tapping in. It's a very dynamic tool. So here we go. Oh, I forgot. Sorry. I generally like to start here on the side of my hand. Some practitioners, some don't, but I like to start here with just like a setup and an intention. So we're just going to start here with an intention of listening to and feeling our body and feeling safe within our body. Okay. I know that sounds very odd, but that is anything that you want to do this week, anything you want to accomplish, anything you want to experience, it starts with nervous system safety. And a lot of times we don't start with the basics. We don't start with the like primal instinct. Like we live in that fight, flight, freeze response, and we're just so reactive. And this ability to feel within your body is powerful. So let's go ahead and start here on the side of the hand. Again, just 2 to 3 fingers on the side, right here below your little pinky. You're just going to tap gently. Take a few deep breaths to ground in. I choose to know that it's safe to be in my body. Whatever I'm feeling or experiencing this week, I choose to feel safe in my body. I set the intention to feel safe in my body and take action and move through my week from a sense of safety. You come back up here to the head, up your head. I choose to know that I can create a sense of safety in my body. I choose to know that I can be in control of that. Here. I may not be in control of what's going on outside. However I'm feeling, I set the intention to be in control of what's going on inside. On the side of the eye, I choose to be present in my body and in my life this week. Underneath the eye, it's safe to be present in my body and in my life this week. Top of the lip. This week I choose to prioritize feeling safe in my body. Under the lip here. This week I choose to listen and be aware of my body. Clavicle. This week I choose to feel safe within my body. Under here, under the chin, or under the arm. Sorry if you can hear, I have a very large dog. This week I choose to find safety, to take a minute to pause and find safety. On here. This week I choose to find a sense of safety when I make decisions, to know that it's safe for me to make decisions and take action from a sense of safety. Here, between the eye. This week, I move with a sense of somatic safety, of somatic self-trust in my body. Here. This week, I choose to trust myself. Underneath the eye. This week, it is safe to trust myself. The lip here. It's safe to trust my body. Here. Under the chin. It's safe to be fully present in my body. Clavicle. It's safe to fully trust myself. Under arm here. Even if I don't feel safe yet, I know it's not because I'm in any real danger. I've just been programmed to feel that way in that situation. Here. Top of the heart. Whatever situations come, right? Feel that fight, flight, freeze, fawn. I know that it's natural, that that's okay. It's okay for my body to feel that way. It's also okay to create safety inside of my body. Head. It's safe to be present in my body. Here. It's safe to listen to my body. Side of the eye. And safe to pause when I need. Here, into the eye. It's safe to use whatever tools I have in the moment to create a sense of safety. Top lip. It's safe to listen to my body and what it's trying to tell me. Chin. It's safe to be fully present in my body. Clavicle. This week I choose safety and I choose to be safe in the present. Here, arm. This week I choose to partner with my body and know that it's here to support me. Here. Safe to feel supported and safe within my body. Take a few deep breaths in and out. Thank you for joining me. I hope that really supported you to be able to feel that way this week, or whatever time you're watching this. Just know that wherever you are, these are tools. Maybe you can't lie down and relax, but you can always use your breath. That same breathing technique, a psychological sigh, or tapping is always there for you whenever you need to recalibrate, find that safety, and listen to your body. Because it really will tell you, like, your subconscious solutions that come from working with your body are amazing. They're life-changing. So I really hope that this session helped you release a lot of tension and have a more amazing day and amazing week. Thanks for joining me.